Okay, everybody, welcome today. You're here for a super demo from Data to Action, Achieve Analytics ROI with SaaS's Enterprise Decisioning Solutions. My name is Albert. I'm a product marketing manager here at SaaS, focused on our decision intelligence capabilities, so SaaS Intelligent Decisioning and SaaS Decision Builder. I have 15 years of experience across AI, analytics, and cloud technologies, and I'm based here in the San Francisco Bay Area. A little bit of an agenda today. I want to talk about what decisioning is. We've heard about it today on main stage. If you're new to decisioning, this is a sort of a perfect way to get into the segue of what it means for business. And then I want to do a demo of one of our latest solutions called SaaS Decision Builder. It's available on Microsoft Fabric. It's a lightweight version of SaaS Intelligent Decisioning. And I just want to show you how powerful it can be for even the most basic deterministic of decision flows that you want to create as you look to accelerate your outcomes and make sure that your business is doing exactly what you want it to do. Then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the customer scenarios that are available to you in decisioning across the many industries. And then we're going to talk about next steps if you want to learn more about what enterprise decisioning can do for you and what next steps you can take. So I want to first talk a little bit about a decisioning overview and what it means. And so, one of the things that we've talked about a lot this week here is the complexity of organizations, right? If this is you, right, raise your hand if you're navigating risk, streamlining operations, or improving your customer experiences. You know then that absolutely that when it comes to finding a solution where you are trying to figure out what the outcomes may be and really do right by your customers, by your employees, by those who use your data, that you need a trustworthy and a scalable solution with strong governance capabilities that will help you take your business to wherever it needs to go next. And the opportunities are there right now. I think one of the things that really stands out is we've talked a lot this week too about everything that you're doing with your data, where you are in that analytics and AI lifecycle. And we've seen that diagram. We know that data management is somewhere on the left, and decisioning and where that comes is in the last mile of that life cycle. It's where you do your deployments. It's where you really get the ROI and the outcomes from all the data that you've invested into. And the opportunity is there, right? We have 402 million terabytes that has been estimated that of data that are being created daily, providing your organization opportunities to serve your customer needs better and really give those benefits to your organization to use that data to its fullest advantage. But you might wonder, what is an enterprise decision after all at the end? It's several components, right? And we think about decisions as who we are as human beings, and it's a lot of various different assumptions, thoughts that go into making a decision. And so simply, an enterprise decision, when you break it down, is your business rules, which are the rules that your businesses use every day in order to determine what needs to happen so that your customers or your employees get served. There's governance, which is who manages what and how much responsibility they have around it. Data, which is all of the data and the variables and the columns within your data tables that you use that are going to go into determining that decision. And then, of course, the technology pieces of machine learning and Python code, which can make your decision a lot more probabilistic. And all of that added together is what we have in a decision flow that you can see here on the right. And not only that, you also learned this week about our agentic AI capabilities, which you can go to the booth next to us over at AI Decisioning, which is a unified and governed decision-first approach that turns AI agents into from a science experiment into a business differentiator. You can run those decisions at scale, you can run them meaningfully, and you can ensure that AI is in the loop as you transform your business into the next, into wherever it goes next. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is SaaS Decision Builder. So SaaS Decision Builder is our newest development on Microsoft Fabric. It is a lightweight workload of what we have with SaaS Intelligent Decisioning. And what it does is it allows you to take your data, your business rules, and turn them into actionable outcomes that you can have for your business. So I'm going to go ahead and get this demo started here. And so what we have here is we're on the SaaS Decision Builder homepage within the Fabric console. And what we're doing is we are starting a bank called SaaS Bank, and we're creating a home loan scenario. So right, we always borrow from the bank when we buy a home. And what we're starting out is we're creating a rule set. This rule set is for when we say yes to that loan. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating variables that match up with our data. So we're going to start with applicant ID, which is an integer. We're then going to then have income, which is also an integer. Then we're going to have credit score, also an integer. And then we're going to do another one for location, which is a city and a state in the United States, and that's a character. And then we're going to add another final one, which is decision. And this will be our just our output, because we're going to, at the end, show that decision. So then we're going to save it, and we're going to create a business rule from it. And this one's going to be fairly simple. It's going to be that if your income is greater than or equal to 100,000, then we're going to assign that the decision is approved, right? So it's a fairly simple one, very deterministic, but also one very powerful if you have, say, like 100,000 records that you want to work through. We have 250 here, so we're, have quite a substantial amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into this page again, and we're going to create another business rule for when we reject our loan decision. And so we're creating a decision with a fork here of when we say yes or when we say no. And so we're going to go ahead and copy over the variables from the previous one because we don't need to do extra work. We're going to go ahead and save it. And we're going to create another rule that says that if your income is less than 100,000, then your loan request will be rejected. So it's a fairly simple run, right? Greater than or equal to 100,000, less than 100,000, accepted and rejected. So we're going to go ahead and click Save to that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create our decision flow. And so we're going to go ahead and type in SaaS Home Loan Decision Flow. We're going to click Create. And we're going to come here and we're going to create a branch for our yes and for our no decisions. And so we're going to go ahead and click yes on that. And you can see here on the left-hand side that it's a very drag and drop system here, right? You can add in your machine learning models, you can add Python code files, and that all adds to any probabilistic potential that you have for your decision. So we're going to go ahead and add the yes and the no branches here for the decisions. And so we've added that. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and add our missing variables that we created earlier so that it matches up. And then we're going to go ahead and create our branch expression, which is that income is greater than 100,000. And then once we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to hit validate. That ensures that our decision is running and that it works. And as you can see here, it shows that it is functional. So the next thing we're going to do now is, now that we have our base decision down, we're going to run it. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect it to our existing input and output lakehouses. Data is stored in lakehouses in Microsoft Fabric, so that's where you're going to grab your data. And then we also have an input table that we've created of synthetic data from SAS Data Maker. And we're going to go ahead and save that, and then we're going to hit run. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the monitoring hub, where you can track your decisions. And what we can do is click refresh a few times, because the decision does take a few minutes to start running. And here you can see all of the decisions that you've ever run, just to see like the status of them, whether they're successful or whether they failed or whether they're in progress. And now we can see that this decision is in progress. So we're going to learn more about it. We're going to go ahead and click on the info tab, and we're going to go ahead and scroll all the way down here and look for the output lakehouse URL, where we've put the results of our decision. So we're going to go ahead and copy that and paste that into our browser here. And we're going to be here at the home page of this output table. And we're going to refresh the output table a few times to wait for that output table to show up. And now that it's loading, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to click on it. And you can see here, once this loads, that these are all the columns of those variables that we just created that match with the table that we uploaded. And you can see on the right-hand side that we also now have a decision tab that shows accepted or rejected. So in closing, you can see that we can create a decision very quickly with SAS Decision Builder. And it can also help you get your outcomes and results very quickly as well. For something that might take you maybe days, weeks to do, we were able to go ahead and do it in about 5 to 7 minutes. And so that's the power of decisioning, is that it takes something that is very repeatable and can be made very effective in that sense. All right, so let's go to the next slide here. We're going to talk a little about customer scenarios. We just saw a scenario in the financial service industry, but there's a lot more potential available to us today. Here at SAS, we do a lot of various different decisioning customer scenarios that span across everything from your existing finance use cases in fraud and loan restructuring, but we also do things in predictive maintenance, marketing and digital and customer engagement, and anything that, as a business looks for those types of outcomes that we seek, right? So if that's something that you're thinking about and that's getting your gears turning, then there's probably a decision in there for you that you can also build. And we have a lot of customers today that have experienced the value of our decisioning capabilities. We have brands here that you'll recognize, including Georgia Pacific, Norwegian Cruise Line, Nexent Bank, and they've all used decisioning in some way to transform their business, increase efficiency, and improve their customer experience. And in addition, we've also been recognized in the market for our decision intelligence capabilities. Gartner named us earlier this year as a leader in their Magic Quadrant for Decision Intelligence Platforms, and they highlighted who we were and our impressiveness in how we work with industry solutions and how we have a lot of depth in what we do. So next steps. If this has been interesting to you, you can definitely get started by learning more about our enterprise decisioning capabilities. SAS Decision Builder is available on Microsoft Fabric today. That's the demo you just saw. You can start a free trial and play around with it, or you can visit our SAS Intelligent Decisioning website and check it out, or check it out on SAS Viya if you have it, to see what it can do for you. All right, I want to thank you for your time today. I'm available for questions and happy to chat with you more. Thank you.